Hey Stampers, it's Judy Klock coming to you today for another little live demonstration. If you remember, on Tuesday I showed you how to make a gift card holder from Designer Series paper using the Hues of Happiness product suite. And I'm going to continue working with that suite today. This is first available for sale on Tuesday, and it's such a beautiful suite that I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to continue to work with it. So the suite comes with the Happiness Abounds stamp set. It's got a beautiful mix of floral images and lovely sentiments with beautiful scripted font. It also comes with the matching dies, and these are really cool because you've got 3 dies that will sort of give you like a filigreed look, and then it's got these other 2 that will give you like the like a book binding almost, and then it's got the dies that match all of the floral images, so you can stamp and cut out all of the floral images. It also comes with this lovely Designer Series paper, and I'm going to show you the full 12-inch sheets because the Hues go from all the different colors are included, but it starts with sort of one and it goes down. It's sort of like an ombre or a graduated shade. So it includes Pool Party, Calypso Coral, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, and I think Flirty Flamingo. Let me check. So they are Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Pool Party. So you've got quite a selection to choose from in there. And what I love about, let me show you these 2 sheets. I'm going to pull out 2 of these sheets. Aren't these pretty though? Look at those gorgeous colors. And this will be also featured in my May class. You can still register up until May 8th. We'll be working with the Biggest Wish stamp set, but I will be using the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper. And let me just show you real quick. These are the cards for our May class that is happening on the 20th, I think it's a Friday. And these are the cards that we'll be doing. We have a floating panel card. We've got a wiper card. We've got a simple stamping card. And there's one other card, and I don't know off the top of my head where that one is. Oh, it's the pinwheel card. But those are the ones that we'll be working on. But what's really cool about these 2 pieces of paper is that the dies will actually cut out all of these images. Each one of the dies, you can cut out all of these flowers, the 2 sets of leaves, the big flowers can all be cut by the matching dies. So if you don't feel like stamping and coloring them, you can just go ahead and take those matching dies and cut those out. So how great is that? So if you're in a bind and you need something real quick, just grab those dies. I have mine in here. I bought these little, they're called garage door magnets. They're 4x6. I kind of put them in there with some tear and tape, and they're perfect for keeping the dies and the stamps together. But look at how great these go on. Oops, let me turn this one around. So there is, of course, now it's not going to work. I had this all planned out. There's that one. This will cut out this one. You can cut out this one. We can cut out this one. And of course, we can cut out the 2 sets of leaves. That one. And then, can't get the last die out. And then this one. So look at that. How great is that? What a quick and easy way to get those floral images for your card. So that's what I really, really love about this Designer Series paper. It's just so versatile, and there's so many options and so many colors. I really think you'll like it. So if you haven't got it today, if you haven't gotten it, definitely take a look at it. It is really beautiful, colorful, and I think you will love it as much as I do. And then it also comes with the Glossy Dots, which of course, even though I'm using, I have, I don't know where I put them on my desk. Isn't that terrible? And I just, I'm going to need these. So let me keep these out. And of course I didn't keep them out. Here they are. So it comes with the Glossy Dots. So the suite includes the stamp set, the dies, the DSP, and the Glossy Dots, which have Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pool Party. So really pretty. All right, so tonight we're going to work on a simple stamping card We're just going to use stamps, inks, and paper, and we're going to use one Label Me Lovely punch. And then we're going to step it up, and we're going to use almost all of our dies, and we're just going to use that beautiful notebook die. And how pretty is that? Where it gives you that little kind of notebook look. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, these are photopolymer stamps, so I am going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. I like to use that to give me a cushion for when I'm stamping, so I get a nice clean stamp. So the first thing I want to do is I want to stamp on the inside. I took one of our little images. I think I took the one with the stem, and I'm just going to stamp that in here. Okay, and again, you don't have to do this. I just like to kind of always dress up the inside of my card too. I just think it's kind of a fun thing to do. And obviously don't forget to dress up your envelopes. So let's go ahead and put this in our card base. And I've got a piece of hair there, but nobody's going to see that. All right. I'm just going to, now this is I'm using Mango Melody. That is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I have a piece of our basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. Now on the outside, before I put my DSP and my other cardstock on, I'm going to take that multiple leaf image and I'm just going to stamp that in in Mango Melody. I just like to give those edges, only a little bit's going to be seen, but I'd like to give those edges a little bit of a design. Now I did just re-ink my stamp pad, but it doesn't seem to be very dark still. Maybe because I'm not using my Stampin' Pierce mat. There we go. That's looking a little better. I was going to say, I knew I just re-inked it. I think my stamp pad is just too old. I think I need to get a new one. I think after so long, it just kind of goes kaput. Okay. And again, just a little tiny bit of this is going to be seen, but it'll be enough to just add just a little bit of interest to those outer edges. And while we have our stamp out, let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. We're going to stamp, "You are wonderful in every way." And I'm still going to use our Mango Melody. All right, oop, there we go. Now, let's go ahead and start layering up our card. Now, I like these because for a beginning stamper, there's nothing but straight cuts, which is what I like. Hey, Mary, how are you? So I have a piece of our Daffodil Delight that is 5.5 by 3. So that's just going to fit right down the center of our card. And see how I said just a little bit of those stamped images are going to show. And then I've got a piece of our Designer Series paper that is 2.5 by 5.5. So before I layer that on, I want to do one more stamp. So I'm going to stamp that large rose image kind of right on the top of my Designer Series paper. And you can stamp on Designer Series paper. There's no reason that you can't. I'm going to kind of put it like that, because then I want to come and I want to add this little double leaf image. I'm just going to kind of add that. And I was having a problem with this earlier as to where to add it. I think I'm just going to kind of put it there. So I'm only going to get a partial image, but that's all right. Sometimes that's fine. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and assemble our card. We've got all our stamping done. Let's go ahead and assemble it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer my Designer Series paper right over that Daffodil Delight. And it's always so hard to pick which side you want to use because it's all gorgeous. Okay, I'm just going to match up the top and bottom edges and just kind of eyeball it and make sure my sides are somewhat straight. This doesn't always work out, but we're going to try. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put that on the front of our card. So again, a very simple stamping card. We're really not using anything more than our stamps, inks, and paper. And I mean, we did use a punch, but I still think that's pretty basic. We haven't gotten too intricate with all kinds of crazy folds and die cuts and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to pop up my little label with some dimensionals. That doesn't want to come off. And then we've got all right, take off the covers, more dimensionals, one more. And now we're just going to put that right underneath there. And then I added some of those dots. Now on my sample card, I went with purple because purple and yellow are complementary colors, just like blue and orange are complementary colors. On this one, maybe I'll just go with the Daffodil Delight. So we're going to change it up just a bit. And that's your prerogative because you can do that if you so choose. It's going to kind of, and I like that these come in three sizes, like a small, medium, and a large, so that you can just kind of layer them on however you want. So that is our first card, a simple stamping card. It went together really quickly. We just did a little bit of our edge stamping to give that edge just a little bit more interest. And there you have that. Okay, hey Beverly, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. So let's go on and let's do our more intricate card. Now for this one, as you can see, I did that kind of what I'm calling like the notebook die cut. And let me give you a little hint here because I learned the hard way. So it had to, like, ask me how I know, because I made the mistake and I did it the wrong way. So there are these really two nice, they're long dies, okay? When you go to die cut it, now you'll notice, I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a long straight raised line and then all the little like spiral dots that come off it. So this long straight line has to go to the edge of your paper because that will cut it off. So if you want to have it look like a spiral bound notebook like this, then you have to put this all the way on the far edge with that solid straight line towards the edge of your paper. And that will give you this look. When I first did it, I wasn't really paying attention. So I put it over here and I cut it off and I had like a 1/4 of an inch strip. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted. So learn from my mistakes. And the same with the other one. This is more like almost like a binding type thing, like a ring binder or something. But same thing. It's got that long, skinny, straight line, and that goes towards the left edge of your paper so that you can get sort of that notebook-like feel. All right, that's it for my little tip for the day. Let's go ahead and get started on this one. So I've got a piece of our basic white for the inside, and I am going to stamp on there. I think I stamped like the little bouquet. Here is my little bouquet. Where's my stamp pad? This is what happens when you go live and you move stuff, and then you can never find it again, never to be seen again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this little bouquet on the inside. And I'm going to set that aside because I want to get all of our stamping done. So now I have this little like notebook piece, and I'm just going to take my little pick tool and pop out that one little one that didn't come out. And I want to stamp a sentiment across the top, and I'm going to stamp the one that says, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of stamp that more towards the top. Because remember, I want to put all those beautiful flowers down at the bottom. And then I want to stamp a whole bunch of our flowers. So I'm going to stamp a set of the double leaf, what I'm calling the double leaf. I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to stamp these other single roses. Then I'm going to stamp the big rose. Hopefully I have enough room on this paper for the big rose. we have enough room. Okay. And then I'm going to take some Stampin' Blends and I'm going to color them before I cut. Don't worry, I'm not going to cut all of these flowers. I know everybody's on a tight schedule, but I am going to color the ones that go on the inside. I'm going to put these aside for now. And I'm going to bring this one back and I'm going to color this one. So I'm using the colors from our designer series paper. I have here, this is Granny Apple Green. This is the light one. And I'm just going to very carefully color. There's just a little bit of leaves here, but a little bit of color in there. I'm going to come in with some Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to color these little centers right kind of there. This one has one. And I'm going to come in with some light Pool Party. And I'm going to color 2 of these flowers. Okay. And then we're just going to use a little bit of our Fresh Freesia and our Melon Mambo to color the rest. And I'm going to use the light on all of them just because this is a small little spot and I don't want it to get too dark. We're just going to color this up. And, you know, I love these markers, these Stampin' Blends, because they're very forgiving. And it looks like I've got a mess on my counter. Let me just wipe that up real quick. I didn't even realize that was there, but let's get rid of that. And then lastly, I've got some Melon Mambo that we're going to color. I'm going to do this last little tiny flower up here with some Melon Mambo. Okay, and that's just going to add just a nice little pop of color on the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and put this on the inside. I may run out of my seal. I have another handy refill ready, but we'll see how far we get. Hey, Susan, how are you today? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so now we've got that. Now I've got my other ones, and I'm just going to color this one real quick. I want to show you because I'm going to color this one in our Fresh Freesia. And I know everyone always says, oh, I'm afraid to color because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to make a mess. And you know what? I don't know what I'm doing either, to be honest with you. I just usually start with the light one. So I'm just going to lay down a base of the light Fresh Freesia. Okay. And then I know I want to add some shadowing with the dark Fresh Freesia. So once I'm done, got this, and you notice I'm using the brush tip. And because these are alcohol-based markers, they are like really like responsive. So you really only need a light touch. You don't have to be very heavy-handed with them to get the color down. So just, you know, let it like sort of like I like to say, just let it kiss the paper gently. Now I'm going to come back with some dark Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to just kind of outline all of these lines that are there, and that's going to give it like a little bit of depth and shadow. Okay, so if you just kind of do that, I might color in some of this inside piece because sometimes the inside of the flower is a little bit darker than the outside. And then I just might kind of go around like some of these edges a little bit and just add a little bit of shading around the edges. Okay. And that's really kind of all I do to just kind of get a little bit of shadow. But, you know, I don't think that looks too bad. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. So don't be afraid to try them. You know, like I said, the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers are really great to color with, and I really don't think you can make a mistake with them. I think no matter what you do, it's going to come out pretty terrific. So then I would take the matching die and I would run that through our stamp cut and emboss machine. And if I had done that right here, we would have gotten all of these beautiful die cut floral shapes and leaves. So let's pretend that I took all the time to color these with you and do them, but I can't pick up the big one. So now you'll see, look, I kind of did a little bit of the dark Pool Party here. I did Pool Party, Melon Mambo, Fresh Freesia, and Granny Apple Green. Those are all the colors in the DSP. So let's go ahead and finish putting this card together. We've got our inside together. Now we're going to add our designer series paper to the outside. This is 4 by 5 1/4, And of course it sits on our regular size card base of 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I was trying to figure out, I don't know if this really has like a right way. It seems like the leaves kind of both go up and down, so I don't think you need to be too concerned with how this goes. Even if you are, we're not going to see that much of it, so I think we'll be okay. I am definitely getting to the end of this tape runner. I just need a little bit more. Don't run out yet. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and put this on there. Then I've got our little notebook piece, and I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. So what's everybody's favorite set from the catalog? Let me know. Hey, if you haven't had a chance to vote over in my VIP group, asking for opinions as to what I should do for my June workshop. It's between Cup of Tea, Sending Smiles, and Let's Set Sail. So let me know what you think so I can get busy planning my June workshop. So now we've got that. Now I'm just going to go ahead, excuse me, my allergies are really kicking up this week. I'm just going to go ahead and add these lovely little flowers that we've cut and colored. Now this one, I'm going to actually use a little tiny piece of a dimensional because it's going to kind of hang over this, so it's going to be raised up. So I want to make sure that that bottom piece won't sag because it's actually going to hang off, and since we raised up our little piece of white, I want to make sure that I've got something on the bottom of this piece to make sure that it doesn't get squashed. So if you're ever going to have something that's going to hang off something with a dimensional, put the dimensional on the piece that's going to hang off to give that piece a little bit more stability. Now I'm going to go ahead and add our leaves. Just going to stick that in there. All right. Now, if I wanted to, I could certainly go ahead and add this one that we cut from our designer series paper and add that right there. Or if I wanted to add like another one of our leaves, I could add that, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to leave it be for now. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to take some of our gems. I'm going to go with the Pool Party Glossy Dots, just because I like them. Now on this one, I had a little bobble under that one, so that's why I put that one there. Because sometimes if you've got like a little mistake, you can always hide it with a gem or a ribbon or a cutout or something. So we'll just leave that one there too. All right, so now we've got that. Now our final step, because I love Wink of Stella so much, is I took Wink of Stella, and after these were all dried, I went ahead and I brushed Wink of Stella over my flowers. Now, if you've ever worked with Wink of Stella, when you're getting it started, don't squeeze it over your design. I've ruined designs that way. So I just kind of make sure I can get it started on a piece of scrap paper. That's good. Now I'm ready to just kind of brush it all over my stamped images. And I just love it. It just adds just the right amount of shimmer without really getting glitter everywhere. So who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle? And I think with the glitter dots, I think that's just perfect. Okay, so I don't know if you could see it, but like when you hold it up at an angle, you can kind of see the glitter. So that's it for this edition of Stampin' with Crafty Klock. I'm glad you tuned in. I hope to be back next week for another edition. I don't know what we'll feature yet, but those are our two cards. We have a simple stamping card, and then we have our stepped up card where we used almost all of our die cuts and some glitter, some Wink of Stella, some glitter dots, and I hope you like it. Take a look at this set. It's really pretty. It's called Hues of Happiness. It's a gorgeous set. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. I think spring is finally here. Woo! Bye.